Alright, how's it going, Guardians? KGT back with some more Destiny 2. Alright, so I wanted to talk briefly today about which console or PC you should pick Destiny 2 up for and supporting reasons for why. So, first off, we're going to say that I'm going to go ahead and say this, that the 60 frames per second that PC offers is far more important than the 4K that either the PC or the console versions offer. Now, my reasoning for that is 4K really it's noticeable, but it's not a deal breaker when it comes to games. 1080p is more than detailed enough for the most part. And by far, the more important thing is 60 frames per second, which we're going to get into another topic towards the end of this video about why it is that current consoles are aiming for 4K instead of shooting for 60 frames per second and optimizing the performance a little bit better. So we're going to go ahead and take all this stuff into consideration. So starting off, they said that all consoles will run at 30 frames per second. That includes the ps4, the ps4 Pro, the Xbox One, and the Xbox One X, and the PS5 whenever it launches. And they said the game has been optimized to run efficiently on the PS4 and the PS5. So when the PlayStation 5 does eventually come out, it'll be optimized for that system. And that means that you're basically the longevity of Destiny 2 before rolling over to Destiny 3 is probably going to be a little bit longer term. Now, my guess would be, I would say that Destiny 2 may run for 3 to 4 years before they ever roll over to Destiny 3. So that might be the reasoning behind that. Maybe they'll even go a little bit longer and go 5 years. I know they have a 10-year plan for Destiny, so maybe that'd be a trilogy in terms of numbered sequels. But nothing confirmed on that by Bungie. That's just speculation. So all consoles will run at 30 frames per second. They are evaluating whether the Xbox One X will have 4K, and I'm sure it will at some point in time. Although the Mark Noseworthy said they're more concerned about the launch consoles than they are 4K for the Xbox One X. So right now, the PS4 Pro will run Destiny 2 at 4K and 30 frames per second. Now, if you're looking at buying this game on console, you really got to go with personal preference. The only reason I would recommend a PS4 version over the Xbox One is the exclusive content, which is a notable plus over the Xbox One version of it. Although in the past, I wouldn't say that the PlayStation exclusive content is enough to really warrant going out and buying a PlayStation as opposed to an Xbox. If all your friends are on Xbox, go ahead and pick it up if you're going to get it on console. I mean, you're losing out on a little bit, but not a whole lot. I mean, I've been playing Destiny on PS4 for the last about 2 years, and I still haven't got the Jade Rabbit. So, I still haven't even got some of the PlayStation exclusive content, so I wouldn't say that that's a priority when it comes to that, but if you really want the full package, you want everything Destiny 2 has to offer, pick it up on PS4 Pro. Now, moving over to the PC side. Now, if you really want to get in-depth with Destiny 2, you want to play competitive, you really want the most out of the experience, you want the best possible performance, the PC version is by far the best way to go. Look up some of the gameplay clips you see online of 4K at 60 frames per second. It is beautiful for Destiny 2, and that's all run on PC. And one thing they did note about the PC version is that guns will not have any recoil, but at the same time it sounds like they won't have any aim assist either, I'm not a big PC gamer, I've always been a console gamer, but when I did play PC it was more MMOs like Guild Wars and World of Warcraft. But coming from a buddy of mine that plays PC gaming a lot, he said that's really not unheard of. He said most PC shooters don't have any recoil on the weapons because it has a hard time, it has a funky feel with the mouse and keyboard. But they don't have any aim assist either, so you have to be a little bit more accurate. So if you really want that competitive edge, I would say go ahead and play on PC. But again, if they really take the competitive side of Destiny to a next level with Destiny 2, with them rolling everything over to 4v4, adding competitive playlists, if it does ever have a pro gaming spot and really goes competitive, you really got to look at where the competitive scene is going to be. I know a lot of people are expecting it to be on PC, especially with their partnering with Blizzard, which I would say is probably the most likely. But because of their partnership with PlayStation, it's just as likely that the competitive edge of it might actually sit on the PS4 console. So, I would hate to see a lot of people invest a lot of time, a lot of money into a big rig, expecting it to be more competitive on PC, and if they have any kind of competitive tournament, have it be done on PC, and then have it be launched on PS4. So if you're really looking into that, I would hold out a little bit to see where that's going to be. But if you got a good enough PC already, I would highly recommend actually just picking up the PC version. If you get a PC that's spec'd well enough for it. I don't, so I will be playing it on PS4, and I just really don't have the money right now to invest into a new PC. But if you guys do want to see some PC footage, want to help me get through a little bit quicker, go ahead and head on over to my Patreon at patreon.com/Kalzain. Just if you guys are really interested in that. But in the meantime, I am planning on picking it up for PS4. I do plan on picking up an Xbox One X in the future. I don't know if I'm actually going to get Destiny for it, but any kind of upcoming Halo content. I know that Halo 6 was not showcased at E3, but if it does, I'll be running that on there. So that's pretty much my thing for the consoles. I would say that the 60 frames per second you get on the PC is a much better value over the 30 frames you get on the consoles. And I understand wholly why they're doing that. I know a lot of people that are really upset because they're not running the game at 60 frames per second on console, especially on the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro, because they said that they can't run it, but I'm not so sure on that. It might be able to. The problem is it gives a competitive edge to people who own the higher end version of the console as opposed to the lower end, and that's really not fair for crucible balancing or anything like that. So it makes complete sense as to why they're locking it down at 30 frames per second on all consoles. So I would say the PC version is definitely the way to go. The next best, I would say, if you have a PlayStation, definitely pick it up for that. If you have both consoles, I would still recommend picking up for PlayStation unless you got more friends on Xbox. So that gets me into the last part of this, which isn't really Destiny related, but it's kind of a question to you guys, and I want to know what you guys think, and I want to kind of get this discussion going, so maybe it gets back to Sony and Microsoft and makes them kind of rethink their whole marketing strategy for consoles right now, because right now they're pushing 4K, and they're pushing it hard. The problem is they're pumping out lots of graphics capabilities. They're trying to get that 4K, and they can get the upscaling to 4K, and the games look really pretty and nice. But I think the more important factor when it comes to building a system for gaming is locking down better performance. I can tell you that any gamer you ask, any true gamer, especially any PC gamer, will tell you that a higher frame rate is always better than higher graphics. I would rather see them create a system, make especially the PS5, or maybe even another, as much as I hate to say another console hybrid for this generation, because this is already getting kind of wonky for a, console generation, going with the PlayStation 4, the Slim, and the Pro, and the same with the Xbox One X, the Xbox One XS, Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X. I mean, this has been a really weird console generation, so I'd hate to see them add another iteration into that and really kind of just make it seem like a money gimmick. But going into the next generation consoles, I would really like to see more of an emphasis on maybe Quad HD as opposed to 4K. So that way people are appeased that they are getting a better frame, or they're getting better graphics than 1080p, but really lock down the CPU and make it so it can run all games across the boards at 60 frames per second, and it really puts an emphasis on developers to put that time into it and really makes a much more enjoyable game experience, because everyone across the board will benefit from performance over graphical quality. So that's just a thought. Let me know what you guys think. Is 60 frames per second something that matters to you? Is a higher frame rate more important to you than higher graphics? And realistically, if you're playing on a console and you're complaining about the graphics, you're still playing on the wrong platform anyway. I mean, when it comes to high-level performance, high-level graphics, everyone generally goes to PC. And I'd really like to see consoles with the next generation of consoles really bridge that gap and bring that performance level up to kind of match PC. And stop this whole PC master race. I mean, PCs are always going to be the better option because they are upgradable, they are customizable. You can change stuff, you can tweak it, you can upgrade as you feel you want to. And they're a lot more malleable than a console, but I'd like to see the console market go to better performance so they can really match, so that way developers can really put the time into, like, for console games. Especially, one thing I'd like to see is maybe add some of the options you have on PC games to turn down certain things like shadowing and field of view and stuff like that, and turn down the graphical stuff to be able to increase the performance and kind of make it a little bit more customizable to you. That way that games like Destiny can run at 60 frames per second, and it's not unfair because everyone out there has that option. Everyone out there has that availability if they want to tweak their graphics, and it lets the player decide how they want to play. And if you want to limit yourself to 30 frames per second in the Crucible and in PvP, that's totally fine. You can do that, but don't expect, other people to feel the same, like the more competitive players. So I think that would be a really, really good balance. So I'm hoping to see that in maybe the PlayStation 5 and going forward with some more upcoming games. So, alright guys, if you like the content, go ahead and hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel so you stay up to date on everything I post here on the channel. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you all later, and I will see you in the next one.